Hello and welcome to another episode of the LCS report for New Year's for 2026. We took a couple weeks break and we're happy to be back. Happy to have you guys here. Super stoked for this episode. LCS is back in about 18 days. So just getting hyped for that. We got a bunch of hot takes for you guys as usual. Hit that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed our podcast, and we'll see you in our Discord. That's where a lot of cool stuff happens, which we'll be talking about in a moment. So let's just start off with our hot takes. I'll go first. I mentioned this in Discord earlier this morning, but what team will blow up the worst? I asked everybody to give like a safe pick, a spicy pick, and a dark horse. We do this every morning, so every morning we kind of throw a question. My spicy hot take is that Team Liquid is actually going to collapse, and I have a couple points of evidence. The first one is Core JJ in 2020. If you remember spring, I know a lot of people are going to blame it on double lift. I'm going to say impact was the problem, whatever it was. He wasn't able to like really lead the team despite winning back to back to back to back, or at least Team Liquid had won back to back to back to back. I think in general, Core DJ in intense environments does not do very well. And my second point of evidence, actually in 2023, when they went the full Korea like LCK, PLCK roster, right? They had Summit, they had Pioshik, they had Harry, they had Yon, they had Core. On paper, this roster should be incredibly powerful. They just brought a world champion. Summit was MVP last year. Like so many good things, and yet the environment wasn't there for them to actually win. And I think Team Liquid's environment was not great last year, and I can easily see things not fixing up. You're going for TLCK again, where you brought 4 Koreans and had 1 non-Korean in Jose Deodo. Well, this time your coach isn't necessarily Korean, but I can easily see that sort of intensity coming back, that sort of toxic environment, and just doing well for the first couple weeks because you have really good players and then just completely collapsing and crumbling. You can't finish 9th this time, Core JJ, because there are only 8 teams. So I'm going to say, this team, everyone's saying they're going to be top 4. I'm expecting my spicy pick. I'm not expecting it, but my hot take is that Team Liquid is actually going to not even be top 5.
That's super interesting. I think like this year is such a contested top 5 in my opinion. I think like maybe not top 5 because I'm personally
Top 4.
I'm personally discounting the likes of FlyQuest and who is so C9, TL, Shopify, Lion. I'm not counting Sentinels. I'm sorry. Wait, so you're having Sentinels over Team Liquid?
I'm probably having Sentinels and FlyQuest over Team Liquid.
Wow.
I'm saying Team Liquid are going to crash and burn.
I think that's the hot take.
Yeah.
What part of it? Like that's absurd. I think they'll be fine.
They just have to not crash and burn, and they'll be fine.
I think they will probably start off like quite well. I think that when we're predicting like which team will probably falter like more, like between like C9 and TL, who are probably coming in with some of the better ideas from being in Korea for like quite a bit. I know TL got absolutely blasted in Casper Cup and didn't get to show much because they're in the group of 4 and then they lost the best of ones. But I think they'll be fine. Personally, I don't think. Depends like blow up, and that 9th place was like so circumstantial in like they were meant to have Broxer. Doublelift was going through like a ton of problems, and he eventually ended up off the roster and onto TSM for that 2020 summer. So like,
and then he won, but
true, but
also Core did it twice. He didn't. If it was once, I'd be like, sure. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Yeah. I'll take this as like mild.
He just finished 6th last split, right? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Let's hear yours.
I'm not convinced personally either. Only because I don't think they'll be like out of the top 4 because I don't think Sentinels or FlyQuest are going to be like up there challenging, but I just don't like the roster formation. I don't like that. Like I know he said that he's going to be more in LA, but I don't like Spawn not always being there. I don't like the remote vibe. I don't like that if things do go wrong, you don't have that coach that's going to put an arm around them. And um, I'm unsure on their setup. To be honest, with you. I'm I think Morgan's going to be one of the better players on TL. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think he's going to be quite solid in the top lane, and I think top lane is going to be OP next season.
I think so
So
too.
I think he will have that like Korean buff that they all get before, like when they first come over. So I think he'll be fine.
That's fair. I can see it. I'm not necessarily expecting them to like crash and burn in split 1, but by split 3, like I don't expect Team Liquid to make it to Worlds. I think they're just gonna crash and burn. I just find it very difficult.
Just a very quick heads up: if anyone was on TikTok, that we have some problems with TikTok, and I had to end the stream there only because if you're idle for too long, you can get banned. So I closed that before we got into trouble. I'll figure it out for next thing, but it wasn't showing any of the scenes that I made for the TikTok.
The first, yeah. We are trying to stream on TikTok. I think it's a pretty. Whoa, Radley! Everyone's doubting Fly the perfect place to be to take all 3 tournaments this year. They didn't even do it last year. I mean, come on.
They didn't.
Come on.
They didn't do it last year,
on.
and they had like the best team.
Yeah, they didn't do it last year. Didn't do it the year before. Like, what are we saying? This guy's just rage baiting in chat. Hello, Radley. Welcome to the stream. What's your hot take, Martin? Your spiciest take.
My spiciest take. I don't know if this is the spiciest because. Okay, which one do I go with? I think that FlyQuest are gonna panic, and they're gonna bring in Impact before Summer Split.
Wow.
You really think as much as people are hyping up Gekko's from scrims and like the ideas that they have on this kid, I don't think it's going to translate well to stage in already a team that I think is going to be struggling with such a young squad. And the 2 players that you probably didn't want to be your veterans are your veterans in Quad and Mosu, who I think are going to struggle as like trying to be leaders on this team. And that's to be expected. They are young. I just don't think they've got the right pieces to bring those young players up, personally.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with your assessment of the roster. They don't have a leader. Quad is not the type of person that is going to lift up his teammates. Masu is not the type of person who's going to put his arm around Cryogen and like pick him up and like, help him learn and things like that. I don't think these 2 are that. But I also don't think Impact is that. I think Impact brings a lot of structure and stability to the roster, but I don't necessarily know if obviously APA was, I think, an exception where APA really learned a lot from Impact, but that came a lot from APA as well. I just think that this team really needs a leader, right? That's why I was saying, like, if Vulcan or Core JJ was the support on this team, I'd be like, oh my god, this team is incredibly well built. But I don't think Griffin is the type of person to do that either. I don't know that they're going to swap out Geckos for Impact just because it doesn't make much sense in terms of residency, because Impact is a resident, so he can go onto FlyQuest, but Geckos cannot go onto Sentinels because they already have 2 Koreans. So it would be kind of difficult to make a trade like that happen unless they.
I didn't indicate a trade. I didn't indicate a trade. I just meant like either FlyQuest brings Impact on as a 6th person, or they. And that's my prediction of I don't think Sentinels are going to do anything, and I don't think Impact's going to be wanting to stay around that long to find out about that Sentinels roster.
Impact is on Sentinels. You're right, Beanpork. I think he's just saying that Impact might like leave. Like, for example, Sentinels might pick up Dokla instead, or like we might have some
Impact may look at that roster and be like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah, you might not be motivated. Like, you might just want to take a break, after lock-in or something. Like, we've seen Bjergsen play 1 split and then be like, I retired, So I can see it happening. That's why it's spicy, because it would require a lot of it would require Geckos to be underwhelming. 2, it would require like FlyQuest to like have to burn it on
Hit
year
the
1 of
panic
their
button.
project,
Like, hit the
whereas
panic
usually,
button.
which I don't know why they would do that. This is a rebuild year. And then 3, it would require Impact to leave Sentinels and then feel want to also come back and play on FlyQuest, which I can't really imagine that either. So
Yep.
it requires a lot of stuff to happen. So I can see why you think it's why it's spicy. I don't personally think it's gonna happen. Well, for Carolyn, regarding Griffin, I don't think if you have experience, you can give experience to others. Like, what is he going to be teaching other people? Stuff he doesn't know. Like, I think he needs those years. He needs those 3, 4, 5 years in the LCS, in like tier 1 region, in order to become a leader. I don't think in order to become a leader that can bring up rookies. I think becoming a leader, sure, you can become a leader and like kind of learn on the way, but it's one thing to be a leader, it's another to be like a uplifting kind of leader for rookies specifically, you know? Um, I could see Impact giving up his rookies, but midseason not really. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think there's a lot of discussion about like FlyQuest and Sentinels, um, like breaking into that top 4 that we have. You know, the 4 teams that all went to Worlds, the 4 teams that really want to, sorry, all went to boot camp that really want to make it to Worlds, win like in Lion, Lion C9, um, Shopify, and Team Liquid. I would predict that at least one of them, and for me at least, is like Team Liquid would not make it. We'll do our power rankings next week, so we'll save it for that. But
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sentinels or FlyQuest honestly break into that mold. But I think Sentinels have a better shot, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what's your next spicy LCS take?
My next spicy LCS take is, I don't know how spicy this is or not, but I think David Shynock halfway through the year will get co-streaming rights, and I think it'll be a great thing for League of Legends. I think we've lost
Ooh.
2 co-streamers over the last few years. We've lost a bunch of co-streamers. We've gained like Mrs. Chim Chim, Brikachu. Like, don't get me wrong, we've gained co-streamers. I think Lorlo even a couple years ago started co-streaming. But recently we lost I Will Dominate. We lost Yamato because he's going to be coaching Los Ratones. He didn't watch all the time, but he did watch a bunch. We also lost LS a while ago because he's not as involved in League of Legends. So the involvement of co-streamers has decreased a lot. And I Will Dominate was our biggest co-streamer, right? And not just that, he used to post videos after the fact. So like he would clip those the like C9, you know, his reaction, his like co-stream, and he would put it on his channel. And then that would get like 40, 50, 60,000 views. He would do that for all the big games. Those would get a bunch of views. Like, that is going to hurt the LCS in a way that we don't really see, because it doesn't affect maybe the live number too much, but it affects the amount of viewership in total, which I think is something that's like maybe a little bit more important. And I think the LCS will be a little bit more desperate to get back some of those viewers through co-streaming. And I think they're going to open up the door more than they ever have before. And that's why I think people like David and maybe even us, we might be able to get co-streaming rights. Just because I think the big co-streamers have left the pool. So now we're in a pond of smaller fish.
I think that's dependent on how well the league's doing, like, personally. And, like, David's on the up and up, but I think if the league was at such a high place where they weren't reliant on people like David, or like eventually like you may get there, or and like a Brikachu or so on, I think this is the moment for the quote unquote like the smaller content creators to really step up. So I can see it happening like personally as well. I think this is like the correct moment. I think that the stars are going to align for like the smaller creators to get their foot in, and like this should have happened a long time ago, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think LPL opens the co-streaming to a lot of people, and look at what happened with the LPL. Like, they had LPL English. The only reason they exist is because LPL is very what's the word, loose with their requirements for who could co-stream. I think once you open the Pandora box of co-streaming, like, it's open. Maybe you should have never opened it, but once it's open, you kind of need to open it. So
Ooh,
I
that's
think
a
he's
good
not like,
Raichi take.
I'll be honest.
I just saw that.
I know, I'm literally adding it to our mod channel to like make to have it for next time. Um,
But have to do that though, like on a weekend though, because I cannot be doing hot wings when I have to get up at like 5 a.m. for work. Like that ain't happening. I am not putting my body through that.
I mean, I struggle with hot spicy food as well, so maybe I'm
Oh,
with
I'm
you on that one.
terrible.
But we'll figure it out.
I'm terrible.
We'll make it work. We'll make it happen. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I think the door is going to open in a way that has never been opened before.
Yeah. What's my? I think there'll be a format change in the LCS next year during the year. Like,
Wait, you mean like in 2026, we're not going to stick to the format that we're in?
I think something's gonna like. I think there's gonna be something where like, or I think people will love the Swiss format so much that they keep it for like multiple. Because I think lock-in's going to be my favorite split. Not gonna lie,
Lock-in is going to be incredible. I cannot wait for
lock-in feels
format.
like
It's going to be so cool.
Like I equate lock-in to like that Christmas period where like you have a break off and like you have like it's nice and chill. You're looking forward to it. There's no stress. Even though you're qualifying for an international tournament now. Yeah, I think. Oh, maybe I changed the take to this. That I think the lock-in format will be the catalyst for more like those like that style of format maybe coming into more splits.
I think there's a 0% chance of that happening. I think that's
I
very
know.
spicy. The non-spicy part is lock-in is going to be great and everyone's going to love it. I think it's going to be great. Everyone's going to love it. The
Yep.
spicy part is they're going to like integrate it into other split. Well, one, I don't think it functionally works because you have too much time. So then you have to do like this really weird Swiss stage format, which is just not going to be cool. Or you could do what they tried to do before with doing a lock-in, doing a Swiss stage, and then going into groups. And then if you do that, well, this is 2024 or 2025 all over again, and that's exactly what they don't want to do. So I cannot envision
Like obviously they have to have like the constraints, like the time constraints that they have. But if it in like in my ideal world, I would have like a lot smaller tournaments. So like you could do like multiple like Swiss stage tournaments like these. Like I said this last year, like doing mini tournaments each week. You could do something like that, but I know it's very, very unpopular with everyone else.
There's no way Riot's gonna do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like it's too ambitious.
Yeah, I think your take is a little too spicy. I think for that one, if we were doing the wings thing, you'd have to take the spiciest like ghost pepper or whatever it is. Like California
yeah, because we could do it. We could make our take, and then the chat has to vote on which wing that was. So like whatever. That's
oh my god!
We're doing that next.
No, please no. Dude, chat is going to.
We will make like the we will make like the tamest take, and they'll be like, "That's really spicy."
Dude, you put your trust in chat? No way, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can only make you eat the spicy wing once, like the spiciest wing once. Like you can't.
I don't want to eat the. I mean, that's true. All right, I'm gonna add that to the Discord as well to our note. Chat vote spiciest level.
Is David in the chat?
I have faith in me, Radley. I don't.
Is David in the chat? I'd like to hear if he has a take.
I mean, we can clip this and then put it as a TikTok and see what people. Radley precisely ghost pepper wings. Okay.
No,
just so you know, I think I would die if I tried to do that. So I would have three
just to let everyone know,
for myself.
I do have a gluten intolerance, so I do have to. I know, like the peppers, I don't know what's in that shit, like the ghost pepper one, but
do it for NA. Dude,
I don't think NA does it for us. Let's be honest.
If this would give us LCS co-streaming, like if Mark Z was like, you know what, I saw your short or your TikTok about doing that. If you guys do it, well, I'll give you LCS co-streaming rights. I am down. But that's a high bar to achieve.
If Mark was to tweet at us and say, you can have co-streaming rights if you eat a ghost pepper, I would consider it.
Totally
That's
better not have
funny.
faith in anyone else in chat, but I'm completely trustworthy. Right? Like the more you talk, the less I trust you, honestly. But this sounds super fun, and I think even if we don't do it specifically like anytime soon, we can actually take this like idea of having chat vote for kind of this kind of stuff, and apply it to something else. So I'm loving the suggestions from everyone.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to do one more hot take, or do we just want to get into NA tag team
If
stuff?
you have another one, we can go for another one.
It's not as hot as what you gave us. You gave us like a ghost pepper hot level. But I actually think the Shopify will win spring and summer. And I know that's
That's
hot
one of those like
because
ice cold mayo takes over there.
Wait,
Put it
really?
over there.
I think no one's expecting us to win 2 splits, spring and summer.
I'm predicting you to
I
win
think if I said
one.
we would win, yeah, okay. I think most people would predict us to win one. Like most people would predict us to win summer.
I be genuinely honest? I don't
Okay.
think the analysts will think that. I know, like, even if you lot believe, like you, David, etc., believe that Shopify are going to ramp up. I think they are of the other end where, like, I think you'll make world. Like, they'll probably predict you that world. I'll be shocked if if Jat or Azael or Kobe says, I predict if you look at all the lineups like Shopify, Lion, TL, C9, I predict, even if I don't believe this to be true, I think they'll put TL over you. Like, personally, even with Zinni, I can see a world where if you listen to the dive, they'll power rank it, and you may be above like TL, but they'll have you like third. Even if I think I'd put you 2, because I think Lion is hot garbage. I haven't even seen them play, and I think they're going to be absolutely terrible. I just don't see them power ranking you like 1, even if you may end up there. But I think the way you fell out, even though like we collapsed in summer, you beat us, but then also kind of did the exact same thing.
Collapsed right after. I know.
So
like,
it was
crazy.
And you made improvements, but I don't think it's going to be enough in their eyes to like say, okay, these guys, with the addition of Zinni, who's going to take time himself, we don't know if he's even going to be good this year. It may be a next year angle where he like really comes to life.
No, this is a this year angle. Like, I don't even know if he's going to be on the roster if he doesn't play well. Like, this is we are going to Worlds. Like, I can say that much.
Like, that's my expectation for you guys. Like this year, you have to go to Worlds. There's no more ramping up time. It's like you have to deliver now. With so many of the rosters becoming weaker, like considerably weaker, I think now is the time for you to push for that.
Here's the thing with the dive and like analysts in general. If Dig stomps SR, dude, Kervin, I might just not show to stream if Dig stomps us. Come on, man. I made a video where I like I categorized all the teams, and there was like a third category that was like, I don't know what you guys are doing, and it was Dignitas because I don't know what they're doing. But I think with the dive and these things, they usually do their power rankings for that split, and I understand putting us third or even fourth for the springs for lock-in. So if I'm just saying lock-in, I actually think Team Liquid off the bat might be not too bad. I don't think they're gonna win. I think Cloud9, Lion, and Shopify are probably gonna be the favorites for lock-in. I think coming into spring split, I actually think Cloud9 are probably favorites. And then summer split, Cloud9 historically always kind of don't have a little bit of a rocky
We will be
summer,
the favorites
so
until we're not.
Shopify to win.
We will be favorites in summer until we decide we're no longer favorites, and then
until the second week or first or second week of playoffs. Yeah,
exactly. Like we'll be one, and then it goes.
Palafox mid. The only reason I say that, I'm just gonna say stay in stream for our third topic, because I might be arguing for Palafox mid when it comes down to it. I'm just saying, just wait another 15-20 minutes. Do you have another hot take, or should we move on to the NA tag team? I'm really excited about that.
We will move on to the NA tag team.
All right, let me just read Radley's take real quick. We're gonna do power rankings next week, so I'm gonna try to save power ranking actually for next week. Yeah, Proton. um, so the NA tag team is a really cool idea by David, where he was just like, "Oh, duo queue is back. I want to see pros duo queue, and I want to see them like play it on stream." And he made a whole tournament out of it, where you can make a team of 2 people if you're a pro player. You put in $50 per player, so 100 total per team, and if you win, you get all of the money, excluding $100. So that second place gets their money back. And a bunch of teams, 10 teams so far, have signed up. So FlyQuest has 2 teams, their mid jungle and their AD carry support. Shopify has 2 teams, AD carry support, and then both their coaches, in Revan and Demonte. You have Cloud9 has 3 teams with their mid jungle, their coaches, and their AD carry and supports. Ven and Vulcan are going to crush it. My prediction is that they're going to win it, to be honest. And then you have Team Liquid, just came in with 2 teams. Again, mid jungle, AD carry support. And then, am I missing one? I am missing one.
DSG have yet to announce the.
No. Yeah, no. There was one that was already announced. Let me go. FlyQuest, Team Liquid,
Dignitas?
Shopify. Yes, Dignitas. They're the first people with Palafox and XU.
Yep.
So a generational stinker. So yes, those are the 10 teams. With DSG, it's really hard because their players aren't here yet. I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but like they only have 2 players and they might not necessarily want to duo with each other. Not because they hate each other, but it's like normally you want mid jungle, right? And like, well, the mid isn't here yet, and then you want AD carry support, and the support isn't here yet, so it's like kind of hard. So I don't necessarily blame DSG. I know they're trying to get 2. They just haven't figured out who's going to be here in time. So I'm really excited for this event. There's a website made. Vivian is doing amazing graphics. David is bringing a lot of awareness.
Yeah. Vivian's graphics on our stream right now. Like, this is the first graphic that she made, like the concept design.
Really? Oh yeah, you're right. That is her thing. Stream paused, so I couldn't see it. Someone should duo with Thanatos. Poor Thanatos. I wonder if some like top laners, like what if Thanatos and
they're like a rebellion, just combine somehow, like one off rolls.
Yeah, but then you would be like, the only people I feel like who would do it are people who already play off roll. Like for example, Inspired tends to play a lot of off roll, but he's not a top lane. I feel like top laners don't really play. Is there a link? Let me actually, Carolyn, if you could get the link. If you go to David Shynock and just look at his replies, he's like constantly posting the link to the website. But yeah, I'm honestly super excited to see something like this. The idea is that they're going to stream it. So I'm assuming not everybody's going to stream it. I'm assuming they're not going to stream all their games. But guys, when was the last time we had all these people streaming? Like during the off season? Almost never. The last time was like, sure, last off season, Team Liquid streamed a little bit. I'll give them that much. Core JJ streamed a bunch. And then it was mainly C9 and Palafox. FlyQuest streamed, I think Busio streamed a little bit, then he stopped. Whippo, I think, was streaming pretty consistently, but like that was the majority of the streams. We're gonna have like double, if not triple, that amount of streams with pro players getting to do content, clipping stuff. The pro players are gonna be playing against each other. You're gonna be in chat, getting them to shit talk each other. It's just gonna be such a cool vibe that I just can't wait for it. Thank you, Carolyn. There it is.
I'm not trying to be like one of these negative people. Then don't. I think okay. But I'm concerned that the players won't go the extra level to like provide content for it. They will provide the streams, but they really need to be taking advantage of someone. Like just pay it does not cost a lot to just pay someone to do clipping and make short videos for you. Like really, the whole point is not just to stream; it's to make content out of this. And that I think that's what David was really pushing from the get go is to make content, not just like anyone can stream. Like these players have done it before. It's nothing new to see these players streaming in the off season. But like I know his name's not talked about much anymore because of like what he's done, but Bwippo was a perfect example of that, like making content consistently, short form, long form, like had a video editor, he had a YouTube channel. Like this is like that's the extra level that players can go to, and honestly it probably doesn't cost as much as people think.
Also, you don't actually need a video. You could literally just like stream one game every duo session, take that game, put it on YouTube, uncut. Like most people actually prefer uncut.
It just
like,
needs
if you look at all the big.
Just needs like a good
But
thumbnail, like a really good thumbnail.
yeah, you
and
don't
you're
even
done.
need an editor. Just get a thumb. Honestly, like if you're just doing it for 2 weeks, you don't even need a thumbnail artist. Just upload it, put a title, be like, I just played against Core DJ. Like played against Core DJ tactical or not tactical. Sorry, Yon Core DJ. Just do something like that. I even said like if anyone wants me to do that stuff for them, I'll do it for free. It's like a couple weeks. I don't mind. It'll be fun. I'll have a lot of fun. I'm gonna be watching anyways, so I'm really excited for this. And I do think that you're right. Teams might not utilize it the best. They're not going to be posting on TikTok and YouTube and like stuff. But I think this is a solid first step. The fact that we got 10 teams, including coaches, to all buy into this and put money as well.
Yeah.
Like I think that is.
Ooh, Caroline.
I mean, they're not being forced to. It's not like
Caroline, can you get a poll going on which team will win NA tag team?
To be Sven Volken. Like
yeah, I think it's gonna be Sven Volken.
Yeah, who else is gonna win?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think it's gonna be those. To be honest with you.
I also don't know how you can do a poll with like when there's 10 options. Like you can't. Really
maybe just do the teams like C9, TL, Fly. Like which which orc will win NA tag team.
Yeah, it's gonna be C9. The Unction, okay, the Unction is not winning.
I'm
the
sorry.
Unction's gonna be a lot of fun. I think. Yeah.
Like, I don't think Anero is getting challenger, so I don't see how they're like, and that's not even a cuss. Like,
yeah, he's a Masters player. Like,
yeah, like, and like even when Dom was in Korea with the team, I don't think he was that high on the ladder. Even he's been a challenger player all his life. So, unless he's super tryharding, he's not going to get challenger either. Or like high challenger.
I mean, if he starts playing Udyr,
yeah,
I can see
if he
him
just
winning.
starts cheesing,
I don't know.
But it depends how seriously he's going to take it. I think the main thing is maybe I have no inside info on this. I reckon C9's making content. That's why Dom and Nero are in it. Like I reckon Dom is going to be doing content with C9 for it because like whenever he's in videos, it's just views. Like our highest views are when Dom's in it. So like, and every single short, every single post, like when it was in Kesper Cup, had Dom in it. So that's my prediction for the NA tag team.
I mean, I'm assuming the Cloud9's going to clip stuff on their channel. Like I think Danny's been doing a pretty good job at that. I'm surprised a lot of people have different. Like I think who is that?
Oh wait, is there a poll?
Blabber APA, Yonkor JJ. There's no poll, but people are like, I think we're forgetting how OP Sven and Vulcan, when they used to duo together, when Duokyo still existed, people would literally be like, oh, that's cheating. They have Sven Vulcan. They never FF. They don't let the opponent, like the players that are playing with them, know that they're so good that they're going to carry them. So they don't like mental boom. They don't AFK. Like they used to be so feared on the ladder because it's like, oh, it's Sven and Vulcan. They won already.
Yeah.
I don't have the powerful mode. No, it's fine. I think it's hard to.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And like when they first joined C9, they went and duo queued in Korea and got challenger, like pretty high challenger.
So I think it's gonna be a super fun event. Obviously, I can't wait to see. I think Seus is probably gonna be the one that streams from. I don't know that Bevo even has a Twitch account. But Seus, I've watched the streams before, so I'm assuming he's going to stream. I'm looking forward to watching a bunch of Seus. I'm looking forward, honestly, to watch a bunch of Blabber. I just enjoy watching his streams. And then I doubt Jan might stream. If he does stream, I'll probably watch some of his streams. Obviously, I can't watch all of them, but I'll try to watch as many as I can. It's just it's a lot of fun. I'm going to watch Palafox stream. Palafox last year, honestly, a big reason why I felt like I connected with Palafox was in the offseason after he joined Shopify. I was just in a stream every single day talking to him. And, every now and then I'd just be asking him about like, the process about joining or like playing with contracts or what it was like on NRG and like just building that connection, even if I wasn't like super excited for him, right? I was very skeptical. I even told like Revan, like, why'd you pick him up? He was able to like kind of share his thoughts. And even during the like split one, he was streaming as well. And like, I got to ask him about some of the matchups and things like that. It was just overall, streaming just like lets you develop a connection that you can't really get otherwise. So I'm not surprised that teams like Hanwha Life and T1 and Genji and KT, DK all have streaming clauses in their contracts because that's how fans connect. And I'm hoping that this like opens the door for more streams and more players just being more personable.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh boy, last topic of the day here. You want to get us started?
Hey, this is your topic, so this is all yours.
Let me pull up the topic real quick. Sorry, it disappeared. All right.
Oh my!
What does NA have to do to bring Busio and Jojo back?
I'm removing the text from the stream because apparently I can't spell or I can't type. Grammar is hard.
Wait, what did you call our stream?
No, it just no. On the topic text, it says "can bring back our talent" instead of
yeah. I saw "can bring back our talent."
Yep. That's going off the screen.
That's funny. Yeah, how do we bring back our talent? Because our talent is starting to bleed. I actually talked with Kryra about this, who's the new jungler for DSG. And basically he's like, yeah, if I have to choose between tier 2 and NA and tier 2 and EU, you choose tier 2 and EU every single time.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't ask Busio this because I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but it's very evident from the actions that he took. When you have a chance to play tier 1 in NA and tier 1 in EU, you pick tier 1 EU, especially if it's KC. I mean, you just don't say no to that level of fan base, the road shows, the immense like attention and viewership, like all of that comes with playing in Europe right now. And it's gonna be hard for us to keep our talent. And so we came up with a segment of like, how do we keep our talent when Yukino's gone there, Busio, Jojo, like we're slowly bleeding. And I have a feeling it's gonna keep happening. Toasty, I think, also went. So how do we not just bring them back? How do we keep them here first and foremost? I think that's maybe an NACL discussion, but how do we bring them back?
How do we bring them back? I think you need to. It's hard because like the obvious answer is you need to increase the salaries again, because I think.
Really?
Well, because they're making better money on EU. They're making better money. They're playing against better teams. They're playing against like overall better teams. They're in better solo queue environment. More roadshow opportunities, like 5 to 6 compared to like 1 in the LCS. Like that alone for me would be like, if I was a top player looking to move, I would be immediately doing that. There's nothing here like right now that like makes me want to stay. Like, which is why it's very hard, and that's why like I think one of the first ones like is the tier 2 like problem, because I think our tier 2 system is just complete garbage. And as a lot of these younger players are saying, I'd rather go playing in a tier 2 European team than play in North America. I think it's also like the bouncing of these players. Like we've seen some players that play one split and then they're gone again. Like that's not a healthy career for. Yep, like that's not a healthy career for a player that needs development. And where there's less teams are looking for like look at Sentinels for example. Like they have four Korean players, and a lot of other teams are like maxing out their imports. And when there's already less teams to go around, that's really, really hard for any young players to like to have taken a chance. And like when you look at Dig, they could have easily brought in a lot of NACL guys. They decided to just rerun some of the old NRG roster. So it stems from a lot of places. It stems from tier 1 teams not wanting to take a chance. T1 teams that when they do take a chance, they yeet the player as quickly as they signed them. So, like, look at Scary Jerry, for example. He didn't last long in the LCS, and I don't think we'll ever see him again. Like, and this is the problem. It's like you have your one split, and if you don't perform like exceptionally well, then you're done.
Yeah. So I actually I think you've done a great job at identifying a big problem that we have. And I think that stems from something that Papa Smithy was talking about, where like rebuild years don't exist. You rebuild to win. You don't rebuild like your rebuild year one, make worlds, win LCS. It's like that's not a rebuild, right? Um, so I think you've done a great job at identifying the problem. I don't think higher salaries is really what's gonna fix things.
No,
I
that's
think if
just one of
they
the
want
that's just one of the options I'm saying, because like you need, if you want to entice them back, if it's not going to be the developmental route and more road shows, it has to be like a monetary like thing for these players, because that's ultimately one of the reasons why we had Joe Japan in the first place on C9. Is like we spent a lot of money on him when he could have went elsewhere. Like we had to like overpay for him, and that's unfortunately like unless I don't know this, but I assume if FlyQuest offered Busio a contract that he just couldn't refuse, even though there's a lot of more positives in Europe, I'm sure he'd be on FlyQuest this season. I just like that's the only
I
problem.
actually disagree.
You have to throw money at it, unfortunately, because I don't think the other areas of NA is sorting itself out.
I disagree with that because look, we threw money at JoJo and he still chose MKOI because they had bigger fandom, because they had more like better environment, like all that stuff. We threw money at Busio. Like this is something that Revan's talked about and like the leaks showed. And he still chose KC,
Well,
right?
FlyQuest chose
Go
to
ahead.
try to get Jojo top lane instead of like mid. Like, maybe he stays if he was being offered a mid position. He's been offered top lane, and that was just like a second fiddle position, really. When that clearly showed they didn't like.
Well, I'm talking about Shopify. I'm not talking about FlyQuest. Like we offered this, like we offered Busio money. It's like we didn't, right? Shopify is not lacking funds. I'll say that much, right? Maybe we're not paying like inspired level, but like we offered Zinni the bag. We probably offered Busio the bag. Like at the end of the day, KC is just like overall a better offer, and that's what I think we really need to focus on. Is like the prestige of North America is very quickly dying. I think we really need to um, level up that prestige. We need roadshows. I think we will continue to bleed until we have roadshows. Because if you're Busio and you're like, I was the best team for the majority of the year, I was on the best team for the majority of 2 years actually, and we had one roadshow in 2 years, whereas KC had what, four roadshows? Four roadshows in 1 year? Not to mention the fact that they make an international. Like I'm not gonna count like FlyQuest went to a lot of internationals, but like just in NA, imagine if you went to Texas, like to Texas and Chicago and Miami and like Seattle, like maybe not Seattle, but whatever, like Nevada, that could have been great, or Vegas. Like he could have went to all these different places, but he didn't. He had one finals. He had one finals in studio, two finals in studio. Then he had one at the YouTube theater, which was right next to the studio, and then he went to Texas. I feel like that's a big thing. Like feeding off of that energy is one thing that I've heard pro players say is like it feels kind of dead. The LA audience, it just feels like you're playing against like it just you lose that momentum of like how much the fans really the passion that the fans have is no longer there. And I feel like that's something Europe does not lack. And we need to reinvigorate our fandom. We need to reinvigorate what it means playing in LCS. Like when you step foot on that stage, it should be a life-defining moment. And it used to be. Think of 2015. Like, dude, 2016 when Double F joined on what's it called? TSM, and they took that stage. Man, those chants were so loud. You know, even in IEM when we first saw them with Kasing back then, like just the idea of stepping foot on a stage in front of a crowd was such a powerful moment that we've really lost that. It's just like you're playing in front of your friends. And I think we really that's where I would go with that. I really want to like improve our fan culture, get more road shows, and just be more passionate fans and like show that passion.
I think the other problem is the inconsistency with formats, with like you said, lack of road shows. It does really put a sting on players. Like what the LCS needs is consistency in its formats, an increase. Like if if you're telling me like eventual crease in roadshows, I'm fine with that as long as we know what's coming down the road. But when like as a player, you can ask any of the players from last year, like they had no idea what the formats were. They were confusing. Like look at the last split. C9 never played Fly once in a split.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they were going to be first. They were literally for funning, and they're like, well, "We finished first. Hello."
Exactly. They even said like they were joking in like the comms for the second
The voice
game is
comms,
like,
yeah.
oh, shall we pick this because we can't get first anyways, and then they ended up making it. It's like, I just the biggest gripe I have with this region is its tier 2 scene, and that's just from a very narrow minded like look at
The
it.
biggest gripe? Come on, man. We got a lot of gripes with NA.
Well, okay, I hate the tier 2 scene. Like from what I've seen, I genuinely hate the attitude tier 2 scene, like the tier scene has, and then that stems to the LCS teams who then pick up these guys, and then they're also fucking clueless. Like also, he's right. Like rebuilds don't exist, and that's also because of the player mentality in this, like in esports. Really, it's players are impatient. Players think if you don't succeed this year, you're never going to succeed, and that's just it is simply not the case, or shouldn't be the case. Even though it technically is the case because players are impatient, and instead of trying to see what next year brings, for example, let's say it doesn't work out this year with you and Zinni, he ain't there next year. But he probably should be because give him a year to develop, give him a year to embed in NA, give him a year to embed with these players.
But we're not bringing him for that. We're bringing him to win. Like, I would agree with you if you brought him in last year instead of Palafox. Sure, give him 2 years, even if he sucks. But, like, you have to also understand the expectations and the amount of money we're paying for him, right?
Maybe he's not, like, the best example, but when...
I think maybe Griffin is an example, like...
Yeah.
For you, like Griffin or Geckos, yeah.
Right. The problem is these players, they don't have the patience, and eventually it like these rosters get to beyond the point where like it's unrepairable and they can't fix the issues that they have, and then they're forced to make a change, and it's so frustrating that you see that every single time.
Yeah, I mean, also we import a lot from EU, which makes it from Korea, which makes it difficult. Because then it opens the door a lot more to importing, and then you end up like not picking up players that maybe you could have, or just like locking up those roles in a way that in the past maybe they wouldn't have been locked.
Yeah.
So I do see that there are a lot of problems. I just think that once the prestige of North America goes back 10 years, like if we could just hop into a time machine and increase our prestige, I think that really changes the players' mentalities as well. Because it really, like, just the fact that you can see the dream and feel it around you and see your, like, the people that are in front of you or, like, your teammates or, like, other teams doing it and just that experience itself, I would argue that it's a big part of, like, the, not American dream, but the LCS dream, if that makes sense.
I think that also stems from the lack of like notable, like okay, no, not lack of notable brands, but like lack of like true, like strong brands that these fans can clutch to. Because before you had TSM, CLG, C9, and then whoever else you wanted to have in there. You always had like, what was that team? Like you had teams like
That's gonna be funny, but Dignitas.
Back
in the day,
you had teams like Apex who were just randomly in there. Like if you remember teams like that. You always had teams floating around, but you always had your core. Yeah. And now, where C9s remain the same, TL's kind of wishy washy. Some like theirs is when it's good, they're good. Like they're big, their fans care. If they're not at the top, they're pretty much like non-existent. FlyQuest is hard.
Which is a horrible brand to develop, I think. Yeah.
Yes. FlyQuest is going to be real. It's going to be really hard now. That I called that as soon as they lost Inspired and Busio, that like they're gonna struggle for fandom. We'll see how they do this year.
I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
think they're
they have
gonna
as big
retain
as a
like
fandom as
most of
people
them.
think.
I think they've done a very good job at like diversifying and having people care more about like Quad and Masu, and not just that, but the actual FlyQuest brand with their like initiatives and whatnot. That I think people are going to be positively surprised at how much they
I
retain.
I like their project more than I agree. I'm like I think they have like a decent decently sized fandom because, but I like the project that FlyQuest do sell. Like I
Like just
really
even
like
regardless
this.
of the
Even if I disagree on like the veterans they retained, well, veterans they retained, I do agree with like doing a more of a rebuild year because I think it needs to. They need to try and set a precedent that you don't just have to. And this is even they're doing this when Worlds is in NA, so which is
unfortunate timing, but yeah.
it is, but if you believe in yourself and you believe in the project, in that like, in the next like 2 to 3 years, they'll have like championships with these group of players. Like that's what they're banking on.
That's the goal, yeah.
So
That's the
like
goal.
they're sacrificing potentially going like they aren't going to Worlds this year, in my opinion. I don't think that they're going to develop to a point where they're going to win or make top three even. But I do think in the next couple of years, some of their players will be really good.
They have fans that think it's ethical to not root for an org. If I open up that discussion of what is ethical, I think I would go on for a very long time, to be honest. But I think sometimes we get into our own heads of what like ethics and morals are and what is right versus what is wrong versus what is practical. So I'm just gonna cut it here. Do you want to do Q&A? Reminder to join the Discord server because that's where we have the Q&A. We put like a
Yeah.
you can ask your questions in the podcast question, and we have some interesting questions. So the first question is from Darius. When SR do not make worlds, will Cloud shave his head? Um, shave my head, no, but I am down to do some sort of punishment on the condition that you, Darius, and I will send you this clip, also make a bet. So we can I'm down to do a bet of like, hey, if Shopify like make it to Worlds, you have to do the punishment, but if they don't, I'll do the punishment. If you're willing, Darius, to put your money where your mouth is, then I'm willing to.
All right.
Yeah. All right. The I'll go to the next one because that one didn't really have much to you. All right. Beans says, have the other person give you a team of their choice, and you have to explain why that team could win LCS. All right. You want to start us off because you seem to have a team picked out for me.
I am going to ask you why Cloud9 will win the LCS.
Okay, so not Dignitas. All right. I had a whole spiel of like NRG 2023, Califox
I was
is gonna
just
smurf. He's
making
gonna
you
come
sweat,
anger.
to be honest with you.
All right, thank goodness. Whew. All right. Why Cloud9 is gonna win the LCS? I think Cloud9 is gonna come in with the they're gonna have the highest ceiling at the beginning. And I truly do think they can win spring. In terms of the meta, it's going to be very hot. Like top is going to be so OP, like you said earlier. And you have Thanatos, and that guy's just like a laning monster, right? So it's going to make it so much easier. Like in the past, you had like a level 14 Renekton diving a level 12 Jinx. Now you're going to have a level 16 Renekton diving on a level 12 Jinx. Like it's going to be ugly for these AD carries. They are not going to live very long. Top lane's going to be mega OP. And I think that plays really well into Cloud9's like wheelhouse. I also think the other thing is just because they kept the core of their roster, they are going to have a lot of experience and they have a very like explosive start. I think they did a pretty good job at developing like synergy from what we've seen in Kespa Cup and coming in spring. I think they're going to have a very similar momentum to last spring where they're going to be top 2, maybe even number 1. They're going to make it to the finals and they're actually going to win. So I don't think I need to do much convincing, honestly, for why Shopify is going to for Cloud9 is going to win spring.
Yeah, just making you glaze your rival.
I mean, They're not rivals. They haven't been to Worlds in a while, so neither have we, but it's okay. We haven't been here as long. I could do the Shopify, but I feel like that would be boring. So I'm gonna give you Sentinels.
I
Why is
knew you was
Sentinels
going to
gonna
give me
win the LCS?
Sentinels. I
Honestly,
think
up until you gave me Cloud9, I was gonna give you Shopify. But then once you gave me Cloud9, I was like, well, now I can't just copy him and give him Shopify. So let me hit him with Sentinels.
I just think they're going to continue the momentum they had with from DSG, because that DSG roster in the end was actually pretty decent. They did give C9 a run for their money, and I think if they played another team, they probably could have beaten them. Like, there was a legitimate chance. I just think the signing of Golden Glue is really going to go under the radar. I think he's going to have a team that has far less ego and problems than he had 100 Thieves, where they had so many problems. And yes, even though they turned it around and they went to finals and they went to worlds, I think you're gonna have a team now that's more solidified. They're gonna be more open to what he wants to coach, because I do think he is a pretty good coach, as you saw when he was in NACL. And then when he came up with 100 Thieves, I do think he has good ideas, and I think this is going to be more roster suited to how he wants to play. So, realistic, I don't think they're going to win LCS, no, but I do think they may surprise a lot of teams this year.
All right, you didn't do a good job at making me believe that they're gonna win, but that was actually a pretty
I
good
can't
point of
believe
what we
it.
did
So
last.
how am I meant to make anyone else believe it?
I mean, Beans asked it, so we got to comply. All right, do we have any other questions? No, just meme. All right. I think those are all other questions. Any last things here you want to add? Any shout outs or anything like that?
Just a reminder, we're now on Tuesdays, in case anyone didn't see our announcement video from last year. Tuesday this time, every Tuesday.
5 p.m. EST, 2 p.m. PST.
Yes.
And what time is that? UKST or whatever your time zone
10
is?
p.m.
10 p.m. All right. For myself, let me think. I will be having a Zinni interview soon. I will be interviewing what's his name? Silvix from Silvix's Productions. Soon. I'm looking forward to that. I really want to talk to him about his work on Dignitas and also making content for North America. I think that's one thing that I really want to tune into the next couple months is what type of content do we need to make North America great again, or the LCS great again? I'm going to be pushing a lot for Make LCS Great Again. Literally, my name in game is Make LCS Great Again. So I'm going to be pushing a lot for that. I have one other interview with a FlyQuest member, but I'm going to save that for later. Anything else? No, just join the Discord. Honestly, every morning we have a little question of the day that we talk about. And it's been a lot of fun. I think today was a lot of fun. Today, the one we asked was what is your spicy take? What is your dark horse? And what is your most likely for a team that will blow up? And I got some interesting takes. Didn't think of Sentinels, but a bunch of people actually mentioned why they might blow up. So that was fun. Sen may not win the league, but they may help the league a lot with renewed fan interest. I'm hoping that I learn stuff from Sentinels. They come in, they do some cool stuff, and I learn from it. Also, tomorrow is the day we get the new season, not animation, what is it called? Video, season.
Oh, now I'm blanking.
I forgot what it's called. Yeah. But anyways, that's coming out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And then on Thursday, we have the new season. So cinematic, there we go. Yeah. So the next couple days are going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to those. Honestly, I've been looking forward to today for LCS report. Tomorrow, cinematic. Day after, new season is going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys next week on Tuesday.